All right, let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION this morning, where at least about 207 people have been killed and over 450 others injured in a series of 8 devastating bomb blasts that ripped through high-end hotels and churches that were holding Easter Mass in Sri Lanka Sunday morning. So far, no group or entity has come forth to claim responsibility for the attack. However, the police has now arrested about 13 people so far in connection with the blasts, and the government in Sri Lanka has also imposed a nationwide curfew and has curbed social media access to prevent the spread of wrong information from spreading in the country of almost about 21 million people. And also, according to the Sri Lankan police, at least 35 of those who were killed are said to be foreign nationals, including American, British, Chinese, Dutch and Portuguese citizens. The New Delhi has also confirmed that 3 amongst those who were killed in the deadly attacks yesterday are Indian nationals. The government in Sri Lanka has declared a closure of all state universities indefinitely. All transport services have also been temporarily suspended. The Prime Minister in Sri Lanka has ordered for a probe as to why intelligence services had failed to act on a warning that had been given out 10 days prior to the blasts. Now, the coordinated blasts were the deadliest to have hit the country in over a decade since the end of the bloody civil war that killed almost about 100,000 people, and the blasts also evoked painful memories for many Sri Lankans. So this is what is presently playing out in Sri Lanka. At this point of time, a curfew is still in place. Remember, the curfew had in fact been imposed 6 p.m. local time yesterday in Sri Lanka. Now, 3 of these 5-star hotels in Colombo had been targeted. The Shangri-La and also the Kingsbury, besides one other hotel that was targeted, besides the 3 churches that were holding Easter Mass yesterday morning. And my colleague Siddhant Sibil is presently in Colombo and is tracking all the developments very, very closely for us. And he's joining us now live from Colombo. Good morning to you, Siddhant. Now, this, of course, is an extremely difficult period for Sri Lanka, where in almost about a decade since the end of the bloody civil war in 2009 has the country been struck with an attack of this magnitude and this nature. All right, there seems to be a bit of a problem in the line connecting with my colleague. We'll try reconnect with Siddhant Sibil, who's presently live from Colombo. But this is what is happening. Virtually every single vehicle on the roads is being checked. The traffic movement is not free. The security personnel are out there and they're combing through virtually every single vehicle that is plying on the roads, is what we have been given to understand. And it is an extremely difficult time, considering the fact that there were 8 blasts that struck Sri Lanka yesterday. 3 of them struck churches, 3 of them struck very high-profile hotels that are predominantly used by foreign nationals. Meanwhile, there is breaking news that is coming in, where the death toll of Indians who have been killed in Sri Lanka attacks has now risen to 5. According to the latest information that has come in, at least 5 Indians have been killed in the attacks that took place in Sri Lanka yesterday. And India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj has confirmed 2 more deaths of Indian citizens who were killed in the attacks yesterday. The Foreign Minister has put out a tweet regarding the victims, who have also been identified. So this is the latest bit of information that is coming in, and I'm now told that we have my colleague Siddhant Sibil online with us, joining us live from Colombo. Good morning to Siddhant. Tell us what the situation is like right now in Colombo, where you are. Has the curfew been lifted or is it still in place?
Well, Mohammed, the curfew has been lifted. It was lifted at 6 a.m. local time here in Sri Lanka, and of course, the city is limping back to normalcy from the time I arrived, when there was not a single person on the road. Now, as the day progresses, there are vehicles starting to ply on the road. A lot of people coming out. We try to speak to the people here, but most of the people are not very keen to speak, perhaps because of the situation here. We do understand that Sri Lanka is taken aback by the terrible magnitude of the tragedy in which over 200 people have died, the worst terror attack Sri Lanka has seen in many decades, and of course it breaks the stable peace which Sri Lanka saw in the aftermath of the defeat of the LTTE in 2009. It's been 10 years since the defeat of LTTE, but we are now getting also updates on the casualty figure when it comes to the Indians. The Indian mission here has confirmed, in Colombo, has confirmed that 2 more Indians are in the list of the number of Indians dead. So total making 5 Indians dead. That's the highest number of foreign nationality.
All right, there seems to be a problem with the line with Siddhant. We'll try reconnect with my colleague there, but this is what is playing out at this point of time. So the curfew that was in place has now been lifted. It was lifted at 6 o'clock this morning. The curfew, it had been announced, will be in place from 6 p.m. yesterday local time in Sri Lanka till 6 a.m. this morning. And at this point of time, it is an extremely difficult period of time that Sri Lanka is in fact going through. Remember, not since the end of the civil war 10 years ago, a decade ago, has the country been impacted with an attack of this scale. And also, it is for the very first time that foreign nationals have been targeted on Sri Lankan soil. At least about 35 foreign nationals are said to be amongst those who were killed in the deadly serial blast that rocked Sri Lanka yesterday. Now, the number of foreign nationals have been identified as deceased stands at this point as about 34. The fatalities are said to be 5 from India, and there are people from different nationalities, for instance, from Portugal, from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from Turkey, and several other nationalities who have also been reported to be killed. There are also those who are reported to be missing as well. And at this point of time, 25 of those bodies that have been recovered of foreign nationals are said to be unidentified at the Colombo Judicial Medical Officer's mortuary. Meanwhile, 19 foreign nationals who were injured in the attacks are receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. The Sri Lankan government has set up an emergency hotline to assist the families of the affected foreign nationals.